Yesterday in an American court, Tahawwur Hussain Rana, 2611 conspirator, said he carried out 2611 not on his own or for the Lashkar-e-Toiba. He said he carried out 2611 for the government of Pakistan and for Pakistan's ISI, not the LET. Is this therefore the right time for India to think of immediately rebuilding relationships with Pakistan when Rana has made such shocking revelations, not that we didn't know them? Is there a sense of well-rehearsed timing in the way the announcements being put out today that India-Pakistan cricket will resume? Will this cricket World Cup frenzy last? Are some people in New Delhi and Islamabad worried that maybe the frenzy is dying out since you quickly need to make the announcement to capitalize on it? And most importantly, as I introduce the panel tonight, and there they are on your screen right now, the bigger question is this: does this form of cricket diplomacy really work? It hasn't quite worked in the past. Is it being done to appease a Western audience? So many questions. Rajiv Shukla is of course a top official at the BCCI, but also a member of parliament and a spokesperson of the Congress party in Delhi. Tariq Azim is former information minister of Pakistan. Mahesh Jethmalani is a top lawyer and a BJP leader. Dr. Zafar Altaf there is joining us from Islamabad, former Pakistan Cricket Board chairman. We have a very eminent panel tonight, which also includes General Shankar Prasad, former Director General Military Operations, and Sushant Sareen, consultant of the Park Project at IDSA. Gentlemen, it is an absolute pleasure to have all of you tonight. And we are going to keep this absolutely balanced in terms of time that we give to all our participants. So Rajiv Shukla, what is this great idea about resuming India-Pakistan cricket? What is it going to serve really? What purpose is it going to serve, and why is it being announced now? Mr. Shukla? Mr. Shukla? Mr. Shukla, I'm afraid I'm not getting your clear audio link. Perhaps there is a problem with the reception. So let me throw that question to you, Sushant Sareen. Sushant, can you hear me?
I can.
Yes, thank you very much. I think Rajiv also can, but I can't hear him for some strange reason. What do you think about this proposal? Then I'll go to Rajiv.
Well, quite clearly the silly season is on us all over again. I don't know if this is a well thought out thing. None of these indications were there. We have certainly a statement from the Pakistan Prime Minister, which was published today, that Dr. Manmohan Singh is desperate to give them Siachen and Sir Creek on a platter because he wants to improve the mood in the country regardless of what it does to India's national security. So probably since it's the silly season, he wants, the Romans used to do this. When the people didn't get bread, then they would organize a spectacle for them. So probably this is what this is all about, because I don't see what this is going to solve in the long run. Number one, the interlocutors with which you are engaging in Pakistan, which is Messrs. Zardari and Gilani, have absolutely no say on the policy with India. In fact, whatever understanding was reached, we don't know what understanding was reached on the back channel between India and Pakistan during the Musharraf era. The Zardari-Gilani combine have already repudiated it, perhaps under instructions from the GHQ. And the GHQ is implacably opposed to any rapprochement with India, so much so that there have been 3 or 4 attempted attacks on the Indian mission in Kabul, which have been preempted at the last minute. I really don't know what we hope to achieve by this tamasha.
Okay, let's get the second perspective in. Rajiv Shukla, I hope you can hear me now. I hope I can hear you. What's the big idea?
Well, Anurag, I am of the firm opinion that even if we have got serious differences, we must resume the process of dialogue. Unless we speak to each other, unless we put forward our argument before the Pakistan government, we cannot address the issue. So it is very essential that we must resume the dialogue, we must speak to them, and diplomatic efforts should not be given up. Diplomatic efforts should always
But this is cricket we are talking about.
in order to achieve the required goals.
But this is cricket we are talking about.
As far as cricket diplomacy is concerned, I mean, there must in Mohali, they must have discussed about cricket resumption of ties, and some kind of dialogue must have taken place there.
So,
and after that, I think MEA would have given these indications.
No,
but
so
far,
why is
I
it
can
being
tell you,
announced,
we
Mr.
have not
Shukla?
we have not received anything from.
No, but Mr.
we have
Shukla,
not
explain this to
received
me. Explain this to me. Why is this being announced on a day all Indian newspapers have as their headline only one story? That Tahawwur Hussain Rana has told a court that he carried out 2611 on behalf of Mr. Gilani, on behalf of Shuja Pasha, the same Mr. Gilani with whom Dr. Manmohan Singh was carrying out cricket diplomacy in Mohali. This story is in all the papers this morning. And tomorrow morning the headline will be that without getting any response from the Pakistani government, we've decided to play cricket with them. I mean, haven't you got the symbolism slightly wrong there?
No, maybe coincident, because this cricket thing they have been talking for quite some time. So it may be coincident that this news has come out from the External Affairs Ministry at this time only. I can only tell you that as far as we are concerned, we have not been informed about it. Government has not conveyed anything to us, because I remember when last time we had called up the tour, the Sports Minister Mr. M.S. Gill had personally spoken to me in Parliament, and he had conveyed his feelings. After that, we had decided not to go to Pakistan. But now, if they have, they want
where is this?
Cricket
Has this
cricket
ever
relationship
worked?
to be resumed? I think they would convey to us. But one thing I can tell you, that a decision can only be taken by the BCCI working committee,
surely.
headed by the BCCI president.
Sure, but
so only he can give his mind, only he can express what exactly is going to be in future.
I'm simply asking.
So far, our calendar is very hectic. I don't think there is any slot vacant.
Yeah, but why
as
then
far
the
as
announcement?
playing against Pakistan is concerned.
No, my question, and I'm
No,
going
they
to my
must- on
Pakistan guest.
their side,
Let me get it. I'm
on their
putting a
side, they
question.
must have announced it.
No, my question is this to Dr. Zafar Altaf, and then I'll come back for a contrary perspective to Mahesh Jetpalani and General Prasad. My question is this: can a relationship which has frozen on core issues move ahead on cricket?
Arnab, can we correct your original statement when you just started your program? Can we correct it first?
Okay, Tariq Azim, you want to go, please?
Yes. Look, you started off by saying that Mr. Rana has claimed that he was working for ISI, he was working for Pakistan government. Look, I've got the actual, what you're quoting from is, Globe and Mail, Toronto. This is a story that was published there. Now, let me just read out to you exactly what he has said. He has said that he was led to believe that ISI wanted his help. He never said that it was ISI he was working for. He said he was led to believe, and I am sure your English is better than mine and you understand what this means. Also, the judge who ruled on this, and this is a pre-trial, and he said this was objectively unreasonable. Now, this is, please, let's get the facts right. When you introduce and say, no, please let me finish. When you introduce and say that he has categorically stated that he is working for Pakistan government, Mr. Gilani and ISI, this is not exactly what he said. I've got the thing here in front of me.
No, Tariq Azim.
Yeah.
Tariq Azim, with all respect, and you know how much respect I have for you, and your wide depth of knowledge
same
and
respect for
strategic
you
affairs.
as well, Mr. Swami.
I have tremendous respect for you, but you are wrong, sir. You are reading a Canadian newspaper report. I have read and shown yesterday on this channel the Florida court the testimonial account of Tahawwur Hussain Rana and Headley versus the government of the United States of America, sir. And in page 1, 2 and page 9, please have a look at it. I'll send you a copy. It unambiguously says that Tahawwur Hussain Rana says, I was acting on behalf of not the LET, but the Pak government and the Pak ISI. And it also goes on to say in page 2 that there are cables between Pakistan and the United States of America, which if brought to light will corroborate this, to which the judge gave a suo moto note saying that this is a fishing expedition. Therefore, I have read the entire account, but that's not the issue. The people of India will ask, won't they, Mahesh Jetpalani?
This is the pre-trial, Mr. Arnab, this is pre-trial. The trial does not start till May, till next month. We'll have to wait. And if you see even today, most newspapers in the West, they have said they are stopping any comments on this issue because of the legal reasons. So may I suggest that we don't talk about it till May, till the trial happens.
the question is that. Question is this today, and the question Mahesh Jethmalani won't people in India ask, that on the one side, you have this disclosures, this coming out in the Indian media, and on the other, you're resuming cricket. Where is your position on this?
Well, I mean, the position should be quite clear. I mean, unless there is some serious redressal on 26/11 and people who are really the masterminds behind it are taken to task by the Pakistani government, dialogue should have been a no-no. That was the earlier stated position, but for reasons best known to this government, they have backtracked on that. But that's not the point. The point is, I'm trying to really understand what are the purpose of these talks. Because first of all, whether the Pakistani interlocutors on this show will admit it or not, are we really talking to the right people? And if so, what are we trying to achieve? And third, is cricket diplomacy a suitable medium to achieve what is ostensibly trying to be achieved? So, going by the last cricket diplomacy initiative taken during the World Cup, my lasting impression anyway is one of a very uncharitable Shahid Afridi turning around and saying that Indians were not as big-hearted as Pakistanis, which left an extremely bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, but at the same time, Shahid Afridi's loose comment cannot determine the course of India-Pakistan relations. We must exercise caution on that. But Dr. Zafar Altaf, as a former PCB chairman, what do you think? Why do you think this cricket diplomacy is getting a spurt?
Look at it this way. Number one, the statements from Florida are self-exculpatory, so they have no meaning in law. Number two, it's still sub judice. Let the courts decide, and then the things will be sorted out. But I agree with one aspect of the whole thing. Pakistan has to put its own house in order, and it cannot point fingers at others, just as others cannot point fingers at Pakistan. The issue really is a different one. Do you want to start from now in the future, or do you want to go on for hate and suspicion in the past? If you want to go on to hate and suspicion in the past, then I'm afraid cricket diplomacy is not going to go forward, because there is a public opinion in India about these things. In Pakistan, this time, this victory of India was accepted as never before. Look, I was a part of the Pakistan cricket team which toured India in 1960 with Fazal Mahmood.
Right.
And I can tell you that the prejudice then was far worse, and no result was expected from that 3-month tour. All 5 tests were drawn and all 8 first-class matches were drawn. Now, you have moved away from there. There have been some excellent cricketers from India. They are icons. They have done a good job for India, and the victory has been accepted by the people in Pakistan. Now, from here you move forward. From here you move forward and you say, we are a fledgling democracy. You are a pretty superior democracy in that sense of the word. You are mature. We are not yet mature in democracy. If you want to help us to get along with these things, then hate and suspicion is never going to be part of public policy.
No, certainly
you need to look at these things in a larger sense. And cricket can do it. Cricket can build your team.
Dr. Altaf, what you are saying makes eminent sense, but as I complete this first round, last question in the first round goes to General Shankar Prasad. Only question people who are Indians are very warm-hearted. Indians expected a lot of things to happen in 2005. In 2005, Musharraf came to watch that one-day game in Firozshah Kotla. And you know, we said a lot is going to happen. Even basic visas weren't given on by Pakistan after that.
Look, I have a lot of personal friends in India. I enjoy Indian friendship. I enjoy Indian companionship. They come to me whenever they come to me. They come with references, even if I don't know them. The issue is really one of being able to accept another's personality. Now, are you willing to transcend your own hate and research? Am I willing to transcend my own hate? I will do that anytime. Therefore, I will say that all your cricketers in India are really citizens not of India anymore, but citizens of the world because they play cricket. And Pakistani cricketers are likewise. Please try and transcend these things.
It's very, very reassuring to hear that. But at the end of the day, it's achieved nothing in the past, and it cannot be used as a diversion from the core issues. General Shankar Prasad, your response, sir, from New Delhi. Your response to our esteemed guest in Islamabad.
Look, Arnav, I don't care whether we play cricket, hockey, football or kabaddi. We must understand that Pakistan plays some other games besides these games.